more to go. We'll go on to A Quiet Passion.
Passion.
A Quiet Illusions.
Didn't even get into Passion.
Wasn't even one drink in that whole thing.
I know.
Yeah, so
she didn't seem like that kind of fun type to go to Passion, did she? Really?
She's probably one of like sit at the back and just like, ooh, don't like this, might leave.
Yeah,
just make snide comments about people and give people hackies and stuff.
Yeah.
This is the story of Emily Dickinson, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed it is.
I know nothing about her.
It's Terence Davies as well. It's the first ever film I've seen.
You're a big fan of Terence Davies, ain't you?
I enjoy Terence Davies. Yeah. Yeah.
He did the Deep Blue Sea, didn't he?
Yes, he
the
did.
Rachel Weisz one.
Yeah. And the House of Mirth as well.
It's Cynthia Nixon plays Emily Dickinson, and it's I know the one thing I know is that she wasn't really celebrated until after her death.
No,
am I right?
I'm probably not. I mean, judging by this film as well, no.
Yeah, and this film just sort of, as the years go by in this film, you see her sort of develop, and the thing I loved about A Quiet Passion above all was the fact that her character is so strong.
Oh yeah.
In this film, and you see all sort of her friend who initially seems quite headstrong earlier on. She ends up getting married away just for the sake of it, because she sort of has to in this modern world. And you see sort of her entire family sort of passing on and certain things happening, all the while where she's struggling with herself and her work. And it's a really fascinating portrayal of Emily Dickinson. It makes me want to sort of to understand more of the actual person that she was. And sort of read her work, because the way this film works is that it has a lot of her poetry written into the film.
Mm-hmm.
So there's sort of like monologues of those bits of poetry throughout the film as the film goes on. So it's really interesting to see that sort of develop throughout.
Yeah. I mean, just like a character herself. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, Cynthia Nixon, obviously known from like Sex and the City.
Yeah.
To have like a role like this, and she is absolutely fantastic.
She's great. Yeah.
Really, really good. I mean, the character of Emily Dickinson, I don't really know her that much.
I think you know more than us by the more than us by the fact that you knew she'd like written loads of poems and.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the only thing I did know was her poetry was kind of renowned after her death, and she was kind of like, as she got on older in life, she gets more reclusive, like she does in the film.
Yeah.
But that does kind of stem from pretty much the opening scene, because it shows her as a young girl.
Yeah. That time jump.
Yeah.
Is remarkable.
Oh, that is phenomenally done.
Brilliant.
I mean, it actually caught me off guard when I
same.
kind of watched that.
Yeah.
Like at first, like the first two people, I was like, oh, wait, they're kind of changing. Then when it goes to Cynthia Nixon as the old Emily Dickinson, it was fantastically done.
Astonishing stuff.
But yeah, she pretty much from the first scene, I won't say what it is, but you can tell straight away she sets herself away from the crowd. She's an independent thinker, and she thinks for herself, and she does that throughout the whole film. And in a way, even like the people she loves, her sister and like her father and her mother, they're kind of and the auntie as well. They kind of lambast her in a way for it being herself and doing
a pretty rough time.
Pretty like by society, just because she wants to do what she wants to do. She has her own thoughts, but the film kind of portrays her as somebody, like I said, who has her own thoughts, but is kind of. I won't say flawed, but kind of mistaken in some of the ways with the scene with the pastor.
It's like sort of ahead of her time, really.
Yeah,
she doesn't fit in with the standardised thoughts of the time. She's just fierce, really.
It's not built for her, is it? No.
Not really.
She's fierce.
I thought she's very fierce and she's very sharp and she's very acerbic.
Mm-hmm. Very soulful.
Bloody annoying.
And there is some fantastic banter in this film as well.
Great banter. But I think there's times when she shrieks so much and she gets angry so much that it actually did my head in.
That's what I mean.
I felt a mild headache coming on by about 10 o'clock, by about an hour and a half in. I was like, oh my God.
I think that gave it quite a lot of strength though, because
it does.
That's what I mean.
In the film, that it is so quiet.
Yeah.
And it is so really well paced, and it does take its time to sort of divulge the characters and the plot. But the fact that it does have such a sort of just a quiet matter to it,
a quiet passion,
makes it all the more powerful when the shouting and the angst and the horror begins later on. It does make that a lot more powerful.
It does all bunch up. When it gets to that point, there's a lot of it, and I just saw I
can guess that will be overwhelming,
especially with the horror and certain scenes of illness and death. And it's quite curious to see Terence Davies how matter of fact he is when it comes to that.
There's some lovely camera stuff. So I mean, he's from what I've heard, he's well known for the very slow camera movements, and some of them are really, really nice.
But I mean, Distant Voices Still Lives, I don't know if that's his first film, but I mean that's what he was kind of first recognised for. He still did it then, the slow pans and the slow rises of the camera, and it's
wonderful,
lovely to watch.
So I fully appreciate how brilliant it is, and it's obviously perfect. And Cynthia Nixon has a very expressive and emotive face. She does a lot with her smile. She's got quite a nice smile. But let's face it, to be honest, I was too busy thinking about Raw. It stayed with us that long. And then I was also quite tired as well, being in the cinema since 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
But yeah, Quiet Passion, fantastic. Tyneside Cinema, if you want to go see that. If you're a Terence Davies fan, if you're a fan of period dramas, biopics.
If you're a fan of Sex and the City.
Maybe not.
Dun, 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 dun.
If you like Cynthia Nixon.
If you like Cynthia Nixon, she's great.
She's
and she's doing something different to what you've seen her do.